Mad dogs and Englishmen, huh? Midday sun. The reason I'm standing here is to do with the content of this video. I just watched a video on YouTube by a guy called, I think it's Oliver Anthony, Rich Men North of Richmond. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. That video's got over 26 million so far? Anyway, have a look at it. If you, it highlights the state of affairs in the United States in relation to economy and the gap between the rich and the poor, more or less. And that's inspired me because I've had this on my mind for a long time. In the song, he goes, you know, I'm not going to quote it because I don't know it, I only watched it once. But basically, it highlights the discrepancy between the rich and the poor and how men and women have to work for, as he calls it, a bullshit wage for life. And that is something that's been on my mind for a long time. We generally have no problem with exchanging time for money. The people you can see behind me operate street-side restaurants, and they work 12 hours a day, and they exchange their time for money. But you see, when you think about it, how can that possibly make sense? Because the annual or the average hourly wage in Ireland, as far as I know, Europe let's say, is about €11.50 per hour. Is 1 hour of your time worth €11.50? The people who work in Thailand, the average wage is about $4 or $5 a day, average. Now, can you tell me how 1 day out of somebody's life is worth $4 or $5? It's absolutely ridiculous, but yet everybody does it. Well, not everybody, but the vast majority of people do it every single working day. They get 2 days off a week. Here, they'd be lucky if they get 2 days off a week. So the guys sitting behind me here on a lunch break, they look like construction workers. I can guarantee you, they're not on more than $5 or $6 a day. There's a security hut behind me here, and there's a security guard in it. And I know for a fact these guys work sometimes 15 hours a day, sometimes 36 hours non-stop, because I've spoken to them. And the reason they do it is because their pay is bullshit. And they work 7 days a week, by the way, 7 days a week. Now, that's not a criticism of anybody or anything. It's an observation. But when you think about it, you're exchanging your time for money. But you cannot buy time. So no matter what you do with the money you get for selling your time, you can't buy it back. So how does that make sense? It doesn't make sense. And that song by Oliver Anthony has highlighted that. And for me, I don't exchange my time for money. I garner an income. And there's a big difference between garnering an income and earning an income. You earn your income by surrendering yourself to an employer. So that employer can get the maximum out of you for the minimal possible investment. I'm not saying that every employer is like that, but generally speaking, that's the way it is. And no matter what job you work in, you're earning. If you're in a job, you're earning. So therefore, you're exchanging your time for money. And no matter what you earn in exchanging your time for money doesn't make sense because you cannot buy time. So I consider myself extremely lucky. I haven't exchanged my time for money for a good many years. And therefore, I'm able to speak to you at midday. Well, it's a Sunday. Most people are off work on a Sunday. But I could still speak to you at midday on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or any day of the week when the other people around me, including the security guards here, are exchanging their time for money. Do you know, when you come to Southeast Asia or you come to a second world country, it's all that more obvious because at least the security guards in Europe or the EU will be protected by a basic living wage, let's say. But that basic living wage, as I said, is about €11.50 per hour, give or take. I'm probably wrong, but give or take, it's not too far off the mark. But $4 or $5 a day certainly isn't a living wage, even here where it's the cost of living is relatively, I stress relatively cheap. A daily wage of $4 or $5 a day. Sorry, I correct myself. It's about $12 a day. Correction. A daily wage of about $12 a day, give or take. It's about 400 baht, 500 Thai baht, which equates to about $12 a day. How are you expected to live on $12 a day? And I know it's worse elsewhere. I've never been to India, but I've heard that people earn it $1 a day. But as I said before, no matter what it is no matter how much you exchange, how much you get for exchanging your time, how much money you get for exchanging your time, it still doesn't make sense. Because to a dying man, if you're dying and you know you've got a few days to live, every hour is precious. Are you going to sell your remaining time for money? Of course you're not. So the argument doesn't hold up, but yet everyone buys into it, pardon the pun. And that song by Anthony Oliver? Sorry, I'm getting it mixed up. But if you watch him singing it, he sings from the heart. It's passionate. And I'm passionate about this too. You can never say never. If you have to do something, you have to do something. But I would be very, very reluctant to ever go back to a situation where I was exchanging my time for money. So there you go, lads. Let me know what you think. It's not meant to be controversial. It's meant to be, it's an observation. And it's a celebration of the fact that we as individuals should have the power to and the facility available to us to enjoy our lives to the maximum. And if you're working 8-9 hours a day, 5 days a week, you're giving all that time to somebody else or something else, and you'll never get it back. And no matter how much money you get from it, doesn't matter a damn. So there you go. That's my view. It's probably a little bit outlandish, maybe. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think. But whatever you do, watch that video. It's absolutely incredible. So thanks for watching this. And if you haven't done so already, click that like button, click the share button, do all those wonderful things, and I'll bring you back another wonderful video very soon. Thanks for joining me.